welcome to MCTV's Let's Talk. I'm Mike Stanzillis, Vice President of Membership and Government Affairs for the Morris County Chamber of Commerce. And today we're continuing our series with John Allen Mollenhauer of Performance Lifestyle, Inc., and we're talking about performance lifestyles. So last time we left off with, understanding your present circumstance and situation. And so, John, that's kind of where you start with your customers and the people you're coaching. How do you get from a complete stranger what their current situation is, in all honesty? And you really need to know that, what their pain is, where they're struggling, where they're suffering. How do you get that from them? And then what do you do once you get that? I know that's a lot there, John, so the floor is yours.
Great, Mike. Well, first of all, Einstein said that 50% of the solution is understanding the problem that you're solving. If he had 1 hour, he said 55 minutes would be on understanding the problem, only 5% on the solution, or 5 minutes on the solution. So, it really sounds extremely basic, but when I first sit down with a client, I literally ask them to take out 2 pages of blank paper and just write out everything that's going on in their life. And it really blows their mind when they realize how many stresses they've got bearing down on them. Not only negative stresses, but also positive stresses. I mean, literally anything that's at play in their life and that they think they want to resolve, I ask them just to write it down. And from there, it's amazing what we can discover.
Yeah. So what are some of the commonalities, or are there any, that you're discovering with your customer base and the people that you coach?
Well, when you really look and read what people write, you get a sense for what their story is, because our stories in life are really describing what's going on in our life. We're really talking to our situation and circumstances at that point in time. So, one of the biggest things that I teach in a performance lifestyle is that it is the antithesis of the performance addicted life. And people have stories that just keep them going all the time because they've got so many unresolved circumstances in their life that they have to keep telling stories to keep themselves going in the face of overwhelming stress. And this is one of the big reasons why people don't take care of themselves and their bodies, and frankly, don't have enough time to take care of their lives. So the reason why this is such an important step right up front is because before you can start getting into changing, improving, and optimizing various aspects of the way a person lives, you've got to understand what kind of stress is bearing down on them. And only when you do that can they begin to start to manage their energy, as we also talked about in our last episode.
Right. So that's so important. Again, so, we do have a lot of entrepreneurs here in the chamber, a lot of people starting their own business, who have started their own business, or people who are working in high stress jobs. And even right now, we've got working mothers working from home, taking care of kids, helping them do their studies, and working at the same time. How does this, how would you help them? What would be, a key takeaway or a key nugget from this sort of chronicling their lifestyle that you can share with our audience?
Well, first of all, that's the main reason why, Mike, I serve people like me, entrepreneurs, driven business professionals, small business owners, people who have relentless demand on their time and energy. That's the reason why I'm not just talking about a fitness lifestyle or a healthy lifestyle. Those to me are givens. If the way we're living is not health promoting, what's the point, right? Because your performance gets crushed if you're not healthy. So that's where we start. Every little thing that I teach, every aspect of a performance lifestyle is also health promoting. What we're focused on here is helping people step up the way they are able to function and perform. And that's why you need a broader lifestyle equation, if you will, because you have to help that person get skilled in the things that will enable them to get more sleep, manage their energy, to eat properly, be physically active, etc. So what we really got to do is, by understanding their present situation, we're going to see what kind of stresses are bearing down on them and make sure that we're dealing with those first, right? It's if you know what is bearing down on you, that's half the game. Once you know that, then you can start making changes in a way that's going to serve and support you.
And I think it's so interesting that when we all can kind of figure out what we think is bearing down on us and causing us stress, but to have an outside person, a professional like you, to take that, outside view, a second set of eyes looking at our life has got to be a fantastic way to help you break those barriers down and break outside of your own head, if you will, and your
You
own.
almost have to look at it like spending money. Most people can't remember past the last 2 or 3 times that they spent money. But if
Right.
you were actually tracking it, you'd realize we're spending 50 here, 20 here, 10 here, 100 here, et cetera. And then you'd actually get a more accurate understanding of what's actually going on.
It's so true. So this was great today, and I know that I really appreciate it. And I've learned so much from you about performance lifestyle. What are we going to talk about in the next episode, John?
Well, we're going to get into a little bit about the stories that keep us going, that drive us, and prevent us from actually taking the time in the game that we're playing, because all the people that I'm working with are in the game. They don't take time out to be healthy. They've got to be healthy while in the game. So we're going to talk about the stories that prevent us from doing that in the process of achieving our goals.
Wow, that we could talk about that forever, I'm sure, because
I'm
everybody
sure.
is living a script that may be their own or may be imposed on them by their parents or their circumstance. And I think that's going to be a really interesting episode. So again, John Allen Mollenhauer, Performance Lifestyle Inc. Thank you so much, John, for being here today.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to be here.
And thank you to all of our chamber members for your continuous support. We really appreciate that, and get out there and continue to live a performance lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you.